NBA Bet put out the listed regular season win totals according to Points Bet USA. Now, I do not gamble. I don't like throwing money away.
No.
But I am always interested to see what, Vegas is feeling. What's the pulse? Like, what's the betting community feel like about teams in the NBA? And so last year, Sacramento in some places 35, 36 and a half. And I sat here when that came out and went, I will shave my head if they don't go over 36 and a half. Well, the Kings won 30 games last year. The over-under win total for the Kings headed into this season is at 31 and a half wins.
Yes.
That is shocking to me.
And that will change a little bit here.
Sure,
and there, right?
based on where money goes, but we're talking about right here, right now, Morgan. So the only teams they're ahead of at this point, San Antonio, who is in full tank mode.
Full tank mode.
Indiana, OKC, Detroit, Houston, Orlando. Those are the only teams they have below Sacramento, I guess, in the win totals. Sacramento at 31 and a half. I put a poll question in the YouTube chat. The poll question was this. Vegas has the Kings win total at 31 and a half. Here are the options. Hit the over or it's the Kings take the under. 89% of people voting say hit the over. What did you think of the 31 and a half?
It's, to me, because Deuce and I talked about this for 1 second. To me, not a big deal because I'm like, they haven't. Last year when everyone was all like, yeah, for sure, 36 and a half, Deuce, my podcast partner here, shaving his head. I was not about it, and it was more because of what else was in the league. Even when I look at some of those teams above the Sacramento Kings, I go, yeah, I guess I believe in like Bradley Beal a little bit more, or like I believe in and I know, I get it. It's their teams, right? It's not just one player that's going to take these teams ultimately to all these wins that Vegas has them at. But when it comes to Sacramento, I will take the over on 31 and a half. But when I say I'll take the over, I'm not going, oh yeah, duh, it's the over. Oh my God, it's going to be at least 36. Like, no, I'm not there. Get there. Show me that in this, especially in this Western Conference. And we talked about in this division, how many games are played and who the Kings are playing. Get there, Deuce. Get there. But 31 and a half, sure, I'll take the over.
31 and a half is embarrassingly low. Vegas is usually pretty good at this stuff. This is terrible.
You probably said that last year.
41 and a half for Portland. Portland, you're telling me Portland, look at their roster. You're going to tell me Portland is 10 games better than Sacramento. 10 games better? Stop it. This is, I would say at bare minimum, it should be 36 and a half again. Like if you want to go that route, and I would still say go over on that. If the Kings don't win over 40 games this year,
I'm with you.
An epic failure.
I'm with you.
I'm not acting as if they figured everything out because I know they've got their shortcomings, but I look at what they did this offseason. I think they've had a really good offseason. You add Kevin Huerter in a trade. You add Malik Monk in free agency, Keegan Murray. I like these moves. So I like the pieces on the roster. You also add a new head coach with a new system, a new philosophy. But because there are so many new players, that doesn't worry me as much, right? When with the Kings, when they had like their core throughout the years with Buddy and Harrison and De'Aaron throughout some time now, and it would be the same coach and everyone would be like, okay, this is how we do things. I feel like with the fresh faces on the roster, fresh coaching staff, there could be a change, but it's still hard to get everything down and in place like before the season. Like you have to understand that even that defense, it's not when they practice against each other and they're in training camp learning this team defense, it's not just going to like happen overnight. It's going to take the first 20 games to even figure out where their guys out, to trust each other, to understand each other and where they need to be in help. Sure. That doesn't make any sense about the third. It doesn't go toward the 31 and a half.
How does it not? How does it not? You play defense to win some games, dude.
Morgan, 31 and a half is so low. Like that for
I'm shocked you're really surprised.
I am because Vegas is usually pretty good at this stuff. They're usually pretty dead on, and this seems like way low. Why were the Kings so much higher last year?
Yeah, I don't know.
The team is better. It's literally better. Like, I don't think anyone can look at the team on paper and go, I'm not sure if they're better than last year.
Vegas is like, you know what? We really screwed up last year. We really screwed up thinking somehow that they were going to win 36 games. So we're going to just like play it safe this year. I think that's where they're going with it. I don't think Vegas plays it safe.
Well, there's a reason they're in business. Someone on the YouTube, our YouTube, like we had a thread going about this over under.
Yeah.
Someone suggested that Deuce take the over, and if you're wrong, you have to get frosted tips.
Oh God.
This over under is so low that I don't even think it's fun for me to put a bet on it.
Well, that's good. So you learned a lesson?
I'm open to suggestions. I mean, to me, it's so obviously the over. It's like, if I bet anything on it or whatever, it's not even
You're
a bet.
just doing this again where you're so confident that it's the over, where I also am taking the over on this, but like your confidence level after what just happened to you, like you literally talked about your hair, your beautiful, beautiful hair every single day, so confident that the Kings were going to win over 36 and a half games, and they were far under it, and you had to shave your damn head. And you're literally just saying with that much confidence again that it's going to be the over.
Yeah.
Okay.
I zero doubt in my mind.
Okay.
But if they just get to 32 and just hit the over, like, that's a terrible season.
That is
season.
a very bad season.
I'm sorry. Maybe I'm in the minority with the Kings right now, but I think you got to have 500 or better expectations.
Deuce. This
isn't.
The season ends, basketball ends, and then we get crazy Deuce back. What the hell's happening, man?
It's not even crazy.
It's a little cray. It's a little, but like I appreciate it. But no, you're being ridiculous.
Tell me why a 500 or better year is ridiculous.
It's not ridiculous to want that. It is. In my opinion. And I understand when you say it's been 16 seasons without the playoffs, it's a different team. It's different coaches. It's different. I get all of that. But when in sports, and we all know this, when you start something new and it's not like you just shove a LeBron James on a team, you still got to develop things. You still got to grow together.
Now, don't bring up LeBron. He could barely win a Drew League game. They won by 2 points.
Okay.
He had 2 NBA players on the team and barely won.
That's messed up.
It's true.
But
they won by 2.
I'm literally not just talking about LeBron. I'm talking about like a young LeBron, then whatever. Like when you add that star player, that superstar player, whatever you want to say, that has done certain things in the league, like you're going to have higher expectations for your season. I get if the Kings all of a sudden got Kevin Durant, yes, I am talking differently. They don't have Kevin Durant. They have a brand new everything that you guys, like, even if it's better on paper and you look at it, how sports work, we all know this, it still has to grow and develop. I just feel like that's realistic to think like that.
So that's fine. You can be realistic, Morgan, but it's okay to have expectations in life. Like, expect great things for yourself, right?
But
you
expect it real, like be realistic about it.
So are you suggesting that it's not realistic to suggest that the Kings could win 41 games this year? You think that's unrealistic?
No,
because
I don't think that's unrealistic.
Okay.
I think 41.
Okay.
But I think
that's what I'm saying. I'm not saying 50 games. I'm not saying 55 games. I'm saying 41. That's not ridiculous.
No, it's not ridiculous. I guess your confidence in those expectations, like
no. See,
like
you're
pushing
mixing
it back a little.
No. You're mixing the two together.
Am I?
You know, breaking news, shit doesn't always go to expectations. We are more than aware of this, right?
We are very aware of this.
So that's a different conversation. But I could definitely see a world where they get 41 or more wins this year because of the talent that they have. Yes, they still have issues. And they like all the things you mentioned about, all right, putting in the new system, defense. It's not easy.
Letting it grow together, too.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm aware. I've watched the NBA before.
Yeah.
But like, I'm not suggesting they're winning 2 playoff
No, I get it.
Here.
I get it. And I guess too, it's just me looking at this team grow and develop and work out these tweaks together in this season and people having different expectations.
So let's ask your expectations, Morgan, because see, this is my problem with you. What's
your problem?
No, you're so quick. You're so quick to shit on everyone else's expectations or 41 wins. but you never want to say what your expectations are. And it's like, I get it. You don't want to get broke.
I have told you, but my expectations are different. My expectations don't go to a win-loss column. No, see, and that's such bullshit
weird.
that you don't think that my expectations can't be that, right? Like, why can't my expectations be like, look, I want the product on the floor to be competitive in losses. So if they end up losing to the Golden State Warriors, even if it's by 15, whatever it is, but we're able to break down the game differently, Deuce. You know how many games we watched last year where we seriously had to talk about effort? And it wasn't like we were even talking about like, oh yeah, no, he didn't know how to take that back screen. It was
again, this is a lot of going around in circles here. What would make a good King season to you? And you can't be like, if we're just competitive in games, if we play the Warriors and hey man, we could talk about it and break it down after it's good. No, like there has to be a bar for this team to reach.
So again, like you guys, here is how I put it. This team should have a bar of what they expect from themselves, right? And these coaches in their bar can be very realistic because they're in it. They see it every day. They see in practice like, okay, we got this down defensively. Okay, if we actually make this adjustment in the lineup, defensively, this could be better. Okay, you're going to get your rotations down more.
I'm understanding of all this.
Yes.
Morgan, I feel like I am on CNN and I'm the host right now, and I'm talking to a politician who is just not answering my question. I feel like I'm like, just answer the question.
What?
So let me ask you this directly, Morgan. The Kings Nation has the right to know this from Morgan Reagan.
Oh my God.
If the Kings don't win 41 games,
okay,
is that a disappointment to you?
No.
If they win 35 games, is that a disappointment to you?
I'm around the 38 range with them. Okay. If I have to put out a number,
Thank you.
Can
I be honest? I appreciate you
that?
even.
Thank you.
Just mention the number.
Yeah.
I'm not holding you to this. Do you understand when you say stuff too? Like if you go, I see around 38 wins. No one is going to be like, dude, you said 38, you suck. And who cares if
I
they
don't
did?
give a shit about people saying like, duh, you said this. Like, I don't care about that. It's just how I don't measure all of the success based on wins and losses. Now, when the Kings become a decent enough team, a good enough team, when that becomes the way that I can measure their success, great. But how can I have to measure success on culture changing. I have to measure their success on just the defense looking better. That is where I'm going to measure this team's success, not in the win-loss column. I am so sorry that I'm a little different than all of you. God.
I don't understand the whole you don't measure success in the win-loss. You should. That's how
but
you literally win games. And then that's
you
success,
see,
right?
then you're not listening because I said I would measure that with this team when they actually become a basketball team. And what that means is we have not seen this team play as a team, have an identity as a team, have a personality as a team in quite some time for a consistent amount of time. So how can I have those expectations on a first year then?
Here's why you can have expectations, because listen to me. Just hear me out before you go.
I'm hearing.
Because you watch the NBA.
Facts.
You know how talented Domas Sabonis is.
Absolutely.
You know what De'Aaron's capable of.
Oh, yes.
You like Malik Monk.
I do.
You were talking about Kevin Huerter weeks ago. We were talking about John Collins. You're like, what about Kevin Huerter? These are players you like. You saw Keegan Murray in the Summer League.
I know what they can do.
You liked him.
I know what they can do.
So I think you could see a world where let me ask you, can you see a world where they're over 500 this year?
Yes. Now, that world seems like not like fake or like a magical fantasy world. It doesn't, but it seems very like, wow, where are we in Sacramento anymore kind of world, like
a DMT.
I guess that would be fantasy and fake, right? The red.
Like a DMT trip, or not as extreme?
Well, I haven't done that, so I wouldn't know yet.
Yeah, but you can read about it.
Yes, and what I've read from it, yes, the 15 minutes of like a trip, sure, that's what it would be. So, no, but that's I guess my point, Deuce. And I think sometimes too, I know you and I we try to do a good job throughout each season of like not blaming everything on coaches, because I think there's so many times when Luke Walton's just getting blamed and it was like, wait, you guys, there's other things too. Like he can't play on the floor. But then it started looking like the way that he was managing, the way that he was leading this culture, the way that he was rotating guys, right? There was just they weren't attaching to things he wasn't doing. I'm not acting like Mike Brown's going to go in that direction. But at the same time, I'm also putting on what is Mike Brown going to do with the pieces that he has to make it a complete team. Because how many times have we talked about this? When you're a team in the NBA without 3 all-stars, you got to play really good basketball as a team. And how do you play really good basketball as a team? You're coached and managed to play good basketball as a team.